Greetings, Japan fan. Today's show, we are going to be talking about disagreements and inclusion. Maishu, arigatou gozaimasu, and welcome back to the 10th year of the Leadership Japan series. And I'm your host in Tokyo, Dr. Greg Story, Dale Carnegie Tokyo franchise owner, president of Dale Carnegie Tokyo Training, and the 3-time best-selling author of Japan Sales Mastery, which is Zaegyo in Japanese, Japan Business Mastery, and Japan Presentations Mastery. My new book, Stop Wasting Money on Training in Japanese, Training de Okane o Mura ni suru no wa yamimashou, and all of my books are available on Amazon. This podcast brings insights, examples, and experience about leading in Japan. Trust me, it is different here. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with your family, friends, and colleagues. We are not being sponsored by Libsyn, but we value your privacy, which is why we have our podcast hosted by Libsyn. Unlike many other hosting organizations, Libsyn have a strict policy that does not allow access to your private information by anyone. Here is our daily podcast lineup on Apple Podcasts. Mondays, the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show podcast. Tuesday, the Presentation Japan series, and every second Tuesday, the Business Tatsujin no Oishia show. Wednesdays, the Sales Japan series. Thursdays, the Leadership Japan series, and every second Thursday, the Business Pro Podcasto show. Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery Show podcast. Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews. Before we get going, today's handy Japanese phrase is "mitteru dake desu." Mitteru dake desu. Mitteru dake desu. This is when you're out shopping and you're looking around. You haven't decided to buy anything, just looking. And the clerk comes over to you and says, "May I help you?" And you just say, "Mitteru dake desu." I'm just looking, not buying, just looking. Mitteru dake desu. Mitteru dake desu. Mitteru dake desu. Handy phrase, that one. Mitteru dake desu. Actually, I'm going shopping later today. I'll have to try it out. Mitteru dake desu. Mitteru dake desu. This is episode number 515. And today we are talking about how to get inclusion even when people disagree with each other. Prime Minister Fumio Kishida made the following comment on diversity in Japan. "My mission is to create a society where anyone, regardless of age, gender and position, would be able to play an active role, and for people with various experiences and backgrounds to inspire each other." Well, today, most companies in Japan would agree with that statement and are working on improving the degree of diversity in their organization. We know that to get to diversity, equity, and inclusion in our organizations, the starting point is to work on improving the inclusion component. What happens, though, when we have disagreements with each other? Arguments tend to create division, bad feelings, distance, and even hostility, which are all moving us further and further away from the goal of inclusion, which we need to trigger diversity in the workplace. The reality is we will have differences of opinion with any team on how to spend the money, which projects to go forward with, who owns the client, etc. A good starting point is to understand who we are, and this will help us to better respond when arguments break out. There are basically 3 reactions to disagreements: passive, assertive, and aggressive. Passive reactions are where we put up no resistance and we go along with whatever the more dominant personality types decide. Keep our opinions to ourselves and we try to not get involved. This is a type of denial of service because we don't bring our full array of abilities to the workplace. Assertive reactions, on the other hand, allow the entertainment of different opinions. You are confident in yourself and you have no hesitation to register your opinion knowing it will not be accepted by everyone. You are willing to take personal responsibility and will hold others to account. Aggressive reactions, however, tend to be direct, confrontational, even combative. You are happy to push your opinion and drive through any resistance. You don't care what others think. This would be me, by the way, but it is not the best choice. Being assertive is the best mix, I believe, because it has elements of a strong opinion mixed with diplomacy. which makes it easier to keep the people together. So passive people need to speak up more, and aggressive people, like me, need to listen more. Usually when we hear something we don't like or disagree with, we tend to be consumed by our emotional reaction. This reaction can be instantaneous. So we may be saying things which we regret later, or which we subsequently think could have been expressed more effectively. Too late. It would be a lot better if we were to slow down our speed of reaction. When we first hear the idea, instead of reacting to it, we can analyze it. Firstly, what do we think about this idea or proposal? Now, here's a very important step. Consider why we think what we do. What we have seen, read, heard, or experienced about this topic has provided us with an opinion. We are searching our memories for the evidence, which is the basis for forming our belief around this subject matter. We don't have our opinions by accident. There is a reason, so we need to dig that basis out. Find out more. We come back from the break. Today's show is brought to you by our public courses, but we also are doing custom in-house programs. We do these in both Japanese and English. We do them face-to-face in our super safe classroom, and we do them live online. Today's show is being brought to us by the 9th of June with our Winning with Relationship Selling program. How to build a rapport, how to get the trust with the buyer, how to understand what they need, how to present our solution for what they need in a way that they think this is perfect for us, how to deal with any pushback. Your price is too high! What do we say when they say that? And how to close the deal, how to get a deal done, particularly in Tokyo, where often you get left with a definite maybe. The end point of all of this is we provide structures, we provide the flow from beginning to end of the whole sales cycle, and we're going for the reorder because we're building a relationship forever with the buyer. On the 9th of June, we also have our Dale Carnegie course, repeat again on the 11th of June. This is our program which is great for mindset, leadership, communication, people skills, stress management. It's a very holistic program. It hits a number of things that people need the one time. Brilliant. On the 15th of June, we do our high impact presentations, 2 instructors, 2 days, everything videoed. Phenomenal program. I teach this program. I love this program because as an instructor, instant feedback and tremendous growth in just 2 days. Incredible transformations before my very eyes. I love that. You'll love it too. Go to our website at www.dale-carnegie, carnegie.co.jp. Get my best-selling books, Japan Sales Mastery, which in Japanese is Zaegyo. This is the Bible for selling in Japan. Japan Business Mastery, Japan Presentations Mastery, plus Stop Wasting Money on Training, which in Japanese is Training de Okane o Muru ni Sunu wa Yamimashou, and all are available on Amazon. If you like learning by watching videos, we have nearly 2,000 there for you at Tokyo, Japan, Dale Carnegie TV on YouTube. We release 3 TV shows every week on YouTube. The Cutting Edge Japan Business Show, that's the premier business show on Japan every Monday, Tokyo time. Fridays, we have the Japan Business Mastery Show, and on Saturdays, we release Japan's top business interviews, where I interview leaders from small and medium enterprises all the way up to the corporate captains of industry on one topic, leading in Japan. Every second Thursday, we release the Business Pro Television Show. You can email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. Welcome back. Having gone through this process, and we are talking seconds here, not minutes, we are now in a position to disagree with the other person's point of view. Rather than starting with stating our opinion, which is the normal route to begin an argument, we start with the evidence. A very disarming way to communicate what we think is through storytelling. And a lot of people hear storytelling, they're thinking of some convoluted long tale, but in fact it could be completed in under a minute. We relate where we discover the evidence. What is the basis for forming our opinion? We should try and frame the story in context. When was it? What season was it? Where was it? Who was there? What happened? As an example, say we were facing a differing opinion over the marketing spend. One side is thinking to reduce the spend while others are thinking to increase the investment. Say we are in the increase the spend camp. We could make our point like this. That is a good idea, but that approach is almost guaranteed to get us into an argument. But, however, are trigger words indicating someone is going to push back on us, and so we mentally gird our loins as soon as we hear these indicators. Rather, we can relate our story to provide the background, the context, the rationale. For example, in December, I was visiting our colleagues on a snowy day in London. I was talking to the head of marketing there, Mary Smith. She told me that they had seen a spike in leads and a substantial reduction in client acquisition costs when they considerably raised their AdWords spend. They found that as clients were emerging from COVID, they were becoming more active in searching online for solutions to their problems. Japan is a little behind the rest of the world in coming out of COVID, so it is likely that we will also benefit from spending more in search words over the next months here to tap into that increasingly latent demand. Rather than just saying, let's spend more money on marketing, we have marshaled our argument based on evidence, and after presenting the evidence in a story format, we have made our recommendation. We've tried to transport the listener to the London office, to have them see Mary Smith in their mind's eye, and to imagine a chilly London in winter. We've provided the context to the point we are making. It is easy to argue with our opinion, but harder to argue with our context. The other side has to produce superior evidence to get us to change our position. That is quite possible, though. And as the famous economist John Maynard Keynes said, when my information changes, I alter my conclusions. And most of us are the same. If we have better evidence than the other person, we may be able to convince them, or they may be able to convince us. Either way, we can avoid arguing. This process moves us closer to having an inclusive culture in the organisation, and from that base, we can move forward toward improving our diversity. Thank you for joining the Leadership Japan series. If you found the program useful, then tell your family, friends and colleagues. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast. You can contact me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. Our website is www.dale-carnegie.co.jp. Until the next episode, take what you thought valuable, put it into action, because idea application is what makes winners winners. So be one of them. Remember, I'm in your corner, committed to your success here in Nippon.